It seems somebody's camera footage caught the shooter up on top of this building right here, as you can see.
So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying? Huh. He just ran from, over, where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in, and now he's right there. Just saying.
Looks like somebody in a prone position, like the kind of position a sniper would be in before they were to take a shot. And if you look right here on this video, up at the top right-hand corner of the screen, as the camera is panning to the right, you see somebody on top of the roof, which looks like to be the same roof that we were just looking at, running across the building directly after the shooting. Here it is again. Somebody's booking it from one side of that roof to the other, which seems to be the perfect position for a sniper because this is where Charlie Kirk's tent was at. Now here's an aerial view from Google Maps that shows a straight beeline from where that person on that roof was to right where Charlie Kirk was speaking. 375 yards. Not the most difficult shot in the world. And last but not least, here's a view of where that figure from the rooftop was, looking down on the pavilion where Charlie Kirk was speaking. This is just senseless, and I don't care what your political views are. If you're happy that that man is dead, you can get fucked. And all the comments rejoicing over his death is just proving why the Democrats are going to continue losing elections. And congratulations, y'all made this man a martyr. The Republicans are going to sweep the midterms now.
This is such bullshit! I've never been so pissed in my whole life! And this murder Charlie Kirk, right here in Utah! I'm so freaking pissed right now! This is bullshit! I just saw blood squirting out of his neck! I love that guy! He would have been our next president! I am so pissed right now! Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it! Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people! Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now! I'm so pissed! Damn it!
What just happened with Charlie Kirk was an entirely predictable scenario. And it is a sign that things are going to get worse for our country, for our democracy, for our security. They're going to get much worse before they even begin to come anywhere close to getting better. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chris Goldsmith, former Army Sergeant, and founder of Task Force Butler Institute and Veterans Fighting Fascism. My organizations train veterans in open source intelligence research. We infiltrate and expose extremist organizations. I have personally been studying disinformation, misinformation, foreign troll farms, and I've been studying figures like Charlie Kirk and his Turning Point USA and the effect that he has had on our country over the last 10 years. I am not excusing or condoning what happened to Charlie Kirk on that stage. I'm certainly not celebrating it. But as someone who has studied him and extremist movements for years, I am saying that he made the bed that he's now laying in. This is not about the Second Amendment or his views on whether or not people should be able to own any certain types of weapon. And I'm not blaming the victim here, to be clear. But what I am saying is that Charlie Kirk was a big enough influence in our country to change the heart of our politics by demonizing, by targeting vulnerable communities, by turning political opponents into enemies, and by helping foster a culture where young, angry white men lash out and are expected to lash out. Charlie Kirk played a large role in making political violence in our country more acceptable, more common, more of the norm. And we will all have to deal with that long after he's gone. Now, my objective here is not to make you feel hopeless. In fact, it's the opposite. I want you to understand that there is going to be some political retribution. Donald Trump and his MAGA sycophants are going to lash out. They are going to use the virtually unchecked powers of the executive branch in the United States to lash out against their political enemies. And this is not something that's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. This is the new norm. Charlie Kirk will be remembered as a martyr for MAGA. And what happened to him on that stage will be used to justify political violence. It will be used to justify state violence against American citizens. All of this is bad. But again, my objective here is not to make you feel hopeless. It is to let you know that you can either sit back and let things happen or be an active force for good. If you have the same privileges that I have, I'm a white, bald guy with a beard and tattoos. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I am someone who exercises my Second Amendment. I am someone who can interact with law enforcement safely because of the way that I look and because of the sound of my voice or accent. If you have these privileges, you have a responsibility. That is why I created Veterans Fighting Fascism. Communities all across this nation are vulnerable right now. There are lots of folks who are afraid. Being afraid doesn't make you a coward. It makes you recognize that there is risk. And even those with privilege will always face some risk. But I want to encourage you to get organized at the local level, because protecting your community and more vulnerable communities in your neighborhood, especially those who don't necessarily feel safe around people who wear uniforms for good reason, that is something that you can do through online and real-world activism. We have seen, for example, the city of Chicago, the people of Chicago, the local government of Chicago and Illinois saying no to fascism. They do not want troops from other states coming into their city, to their state. And because the reaction has been so strong, Trump's administration looks like they're going to back down. At least that's what it looks like right now. That came from people hanging signs in their windows. They didn't even have to leave their house. That came from people who did leave the house, marching peacefully through the street. It came from journalists covering the impact that ICE is having on their local neighborhoods and communities. And it came from local politicians knowing that they have the backing of their citizens when they say, no, the objective of the authoritarian is to make you feel powerless. And if you know anything about history, you know that authoritarians use political violence to escalate further political violence. You know that fascist movements use martyrs as inspiration to recruit, radicalize, and victimize. There has never been a more critical time for you to get activated into anti-fascist activism. If you want to learn more about what you can do and about the history of fascism and how to fight against authoritarians, I want to encourage you to start your own anti-fascist book club. If you go to veteransfightingfascism.org, there is an instruction manual on how you can gather your local community, and you can start engaging in building a real close-knit, tight community who can respond when the inevitable retaliation and escalation comes. Authoritarians try to rewrite history because history can teach us how to fight them. At veteransfightingfascism.org, we have a list of books that will help you learn about this history, this fight. And our guide teaches you how to facilitate meetings of the Anti-Fascist Book Club. And whether you're doing it online or in person, and I want to encourage the in-person version, you can play a role in protecting your community from what is going to come. It's okay to feel despair. It's okay to feel afraid. That just shows that you have a heart, that you're smart. I want to encourage you to take those emotions, take those feelings, and channel them into something good, something positive to build your community and protect your community. To learn how, go to veteransfightingfascism.org and download our free guide for creating an anti-fascist book club.
To be honest, this was really sad. I do not really care about what other people have in their opinion, be it is a racist, is not a racist. Nobody deserves to just go like that. I feel the pains of the children because according to the news, they said the children were actually watching their dad perform. The family were there and then boom, all of these things happened. Nobody deserved this, but honestly, you can see some of the CCTV footage that are actually displayed for you guys in the first place. And I saw a particular video. You know, it's not every video that we can just bring out and pull out here. I saw a particular video where a particular man was arrested, and that video was claiming that that man allegedly was the sniper, which is the person that did the pew-pew stuff, right? I don't know how true that is. Let me know in the comment section if you're very certain that, yes, the sniper or whatsoever was arrested. But that was really, really, really sad. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. If this is the first time you're tuning in, do subscribe, like this video, drop me your comment, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. I do not take you guys for granted. God super duper bless you. Anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and roll out other clips so that you can hear for yourself what other Americans have to say about this. And then I will be back with commentaries. Credit belongs to original creators of this video, and this video is just for educational purpose, nothing more, nothing less. Let's get right into it, guys.
Of all the things I predicted this year, which isn't much because I'm not fucking Nostradamus, Charlie Kirk being assassinated definitely wasn't on that list. I'm going to be honest, I was deeply shocked by this information, fundamentally shook to my core, and not in a positive way, because I can be very anti someone or believe they're evil or be fundamentally ethically against everything they stand for, but I cannot support something that comes from something else I'm fundamentally against. Cannot be for gun reform and gun control while simultaneously supporting the consequence of that not happening, even in these circumstances. And I know what he said just before it happened as well. And I also blame the systemic failures that led Charlie Kirk to have the ideology that he had more than Charlie Kirk himself. I can't be troubled about a lack of empathy in this day and age for the very real things I speak about and then not have any empathy towards this situation. I also know what Charlie Kirk's stance was on empathy and it being woke too. However, of course, there is going to be a lot of social commentary and discourse about this event. I'm finding it interesting. We're already seeing a pattern of people trying to police other people's reactions to it, and I'm not trying to police them policing either. I'm just saying I understand that there will be a lot of people who will also have not just a lack of empathy, but will celebrate his death. Because he wasn't just polarizing, he believed that certain people just didn't deserve to exist. He believed 10-year-old rape victims should be forced to birth their rapist baby. He believed immigrants didn't deserve due process before being ripped away from their family members and deported. He believed trans people didn't deserve to exist as their authentic self, and he didn't believe in equal rights for any of the LGBTQI community. We all know what he said about gun violence and casualties of that just being the way it is. And if someone was vocal in advocating for you not to have basic human rights or for you to not even exist, and then they were assassinated, I can understand why it would be hard to develop empathy or sympathy for that person. People are going to have very valid reactions to this, especially if they do come from one of the minorities that were impacted the most out of Charlie Kirk's ideals. And I think we just need to accept that. And maybe we should be more angry at the system that allowed this to happen in the first place. That's all.
Were y'all peeping how with the Drewski skit, we were all defending how it was okay for him to do what he did because he was making fun of a certain class of white people, and that shit was funny because of the history white folk got? I want to make sure that's not bleeding over here. What happened to Charlie Kirk was terrible. This is not me standing up for Charlie Kirk. Why would I do that? But people are now also doing the same exact thing, but it's like, welcome to reality. That was terrible. That was terrible. And I get it. Disagree, say terrible things, but that does not now mean it's okay for something like that to happen. And the other thing that's scary about the response to Charlie Kirk is, I can tell you right now, I make a video about Drewski doing this white cosplay situation, and a lot of people, a lot of white people specifically were like, I can't wait to do blackface. Like they can't wait. And if we get to a place where we respond to things that happen in reality that way, like what happened to Charlie Kirk and saying like, good riddance, ha ha ha, 5 laughing emojis, had it coming, and what do we think happens next? We don't want to get into a tit for tat political situation like that in America. Things like that have happened before, but it doesn't mean we want that to become how our politics work. And y'all, don't forget, being able to say whatever you want, even if it's dumb as shit, even if a lot of people are gonna hate you for it or disagree or think that it's encroaching on their rights and think that it's ruining their lives, that's the whole point. That's what they're selling us, right?
He was assassinated here in Orem today. I'm here because free speech shouldn't be violated, because we shouldn't murder each other as Americans. We should listen to each other. I'm here because Charlie Kirk was a good Christian. He loved Jesus. He wanted dialogue, not civil war. That's why I'm here. I'm here to let his family know that a lot of Americans are in sorrow with them today.
I've been to countless Turning Point events, ran the Turning Point chapter at my high school. I don't believe anyone should be persecuted for their beliefs. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, no matter what they are. No one can tell you what you can or can't believe, and the fact that Charlie Kirk had to die because of his beliefs is just truly heartbreaking, and I'm showing up so that the young Republicans of America don't give up because of this.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Oh my God. Breaking, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was fatally shot while speaking at a university event in Utah, sparking a national outcry. According to Reuters, Kirk was speaking at Utah Valley University during his American comeback tour when a shot rang out from a nearby building and struck him. People report the bullet came from about 200 yards away. Social media videos captured the moment he collapsed, sending students into panic. Campus was immediately locked down, classes cancelled, and law enforcement, including the FBI, responded urgently. Initially, authorities said a suspect was in custody, but that was later withdrawn. President Trump posted on Truth Social, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead," calling him beloved by America's youth. Political leaders from both parties condemned the violence and demanded action. With political violence escalating and a key conservative youth figure now gone, the nation must now grapple with the terrifying question, how did it come to this?
Imagine being a 12-year-old, watching your dad fucking die. Nobody deserves that. Not even Charlie Kirk. Nobody deserves that.
Yo, you heard about Charlie Kirk? Yeah, he was the one that believed in freedom, faith, and the promise of America. He was the proud Christian who stood up for life, family, and free speech. Yo, then more than anything, he inspired young people to love God and their country. Bro, they took him out.
For real? Yes. About time. That dude was racist and he was far right.
And that's how some of y'all are acting like his passing was justified just because of what he believed in. It's just shameful to mock someone's death simply because you didn't agree with his views. And Charlie Kirk stood for what he believed in. So his passing deserves respect, not hate. My love and prayers go out to his family, especially his wife and 2 kids. I'm sorry, kid. We got to do better. R.I.P., brother.
The reactions coming from the left and MSNBC commentators and CNN, it's despicable, it is disgusting, and it needs to stop. Now, shockingly, yes, leftist leaders in the Democratic Party have come out against the Charlie Kirk shooting and have deplored any type of political violence. But yet, the anchor on MSNBC who literally said Charlie Kirk was his own fault, or it was a supporter of his that did it and that was celebrating pew pew freedom or whatever, those people need to lose their job. They need to be taken off the air now. This has got to stop. This guy, just because you don't believe with his political beliefs or even his religious beliefs, this guy is a father, a husband, a family man. Would you want the right celebrating that something like this happened to your family? Come on, people, get a grip. Violence shouldn't be done on any side. Let's get a conversation going there in those comments. Please hit that share and favorite button to help me get this going viral and away over the shadow band they have me on, and hit that like button. It's free.
I think there's a good case to be made that today was a more consequential day than even the assassination attempt on Donald Trump last year, whereas, of course, Charlie Kirk has tragically died as a result of being shot in the neck at a university campus in Utah. He was a very prominent conservative activist, a fundraiser, a campaigner, someone who supported Donald Trump very closely in last year's election campaign, spoke at numerous Republican national conventions, and mobilized evangelical Christian voters behind the MAGA movement and Donald Trump. He was incredibly well known, and his assassination has shocked Americans, and I think will continue to shock them over the coming days. Will this prove to be a watershed moment for America in terms of political violence and in terms of access to guns, or will it be yet another case of a shock and awe and horror in the initial aftermath, but then it's just business as usual. I mean, this is a country where 20 school children were murdered in a school shooting at Sandy Hook many years ago, which, you know, everyone thought would surely have to change this country's attitude to guns, but of course it didn't. And we've had numerous incidents of political violence just this year and into last year, and yet it's not clear how or whether this country can somehow come together to forge a path that sort of says enough is enough. That is a task that now falls to Donald Trump. He tonight has addressed the nation, and look, you know, there's the good with the bad. He's obviously praised Charlie Kirk.
Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America.
And Donald Trump also, you know, to his credit, said that this is a dark moment for America and we have to stop and face the consequences of this day after day, year after year, constant hatred of one another. Now, on the other side, Donald Trump was also quick to jump to conclusions. He said that, you know, this is another act of radical left-wing violence, which it may be, but we don't yet know who is responsible for it or exactly what their motives are. It's, I think, going to be perhaps a pivotal and defining moment in his presidency if he is able to somehow put this country on a more righteous path, on a path that leads away from this spate of political violence. But that is a test that he now faces.
After watching all of that, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, nobody deserved that. No single person deserved that, no matter how wicked and how heartless that person is. And the last time I checked, nobody was actually saying that this particular man, which is Charlie, was heartless, right? They were only saying he is one of the commonly known racists that do not really care about your opinion. He just comes, say his thing, and then go his way. And he's one of the big MAGA's supporter or big MAGA's campaigner and so on and so forth. And I think I've watched some clips of his video where he really talked about it is okay for you to like handle pew-pew as a young person. It is okay for you to have it because of how the world and how the economy is right now. And it is sad that he didn't really know that he is going to be meeting his own pew-pew, you know, as it just happened, right? And I wished he survived, to be honest. I wished he survived because it kept so many Americans heartbroken. And with the way that thing eventually happened, you will know that this person has already done all the mathematics, the plan, and every single thing that they needed to do, that they needed to carry out. So all they just needed to do was to go and execute the plan. And from the CCTV footage that I showed from the first clip side of this video, you can see how the person was running through the rooftop. I don't know how true that is. You know, when something happened like this, a lot of people are going to bring out different investigation, different analysis. So we do not know which one is true yet. And because why I'm saying that is because I heard in some videos some persons were like, oh, Black Americans actually did that. And Black American people were like coming to defend themselves. I'd be like, I don't get it. Do you get? In situations like this, I don't think it is okay for we to start pointing fingers, right? All I think we should do is carry out the investigation and hopefully we get the person that actually really did it, or if they've already gotten it, like I said, let me know in the comment section. But honestly, watching all of this, it is sad because just imagine you watching your father being unalive, like in your presence, watching your husband, right? Is really sad. It's a sad situation, and let's do just like a minute silence for him, please. May his soul rest in peace. That's the only thing we can say. And may his fighters be found. May his snipers be found. That's what I just want to say. I don't have a lot to say in this video. But if you're a MAGA out there, if you're Black American out there, if you're anywhere at all that you stand, please be very careful. Just know that a lot of things is happening now. And you have to try your possible best to stay safe no matter how hard it is. Do not move around anyhow. Do not talk anyhow. Yes, do not talk anyhow. Just mind what you say. Mind what you relate, because the moment you think people are honestly happy that you are saying that thing, some are not happy. Some can actually use that particular words against you, right? So please be careful, especially those ones that do more of this influencing, talking about politics. Just be careful and stay safe out there. Subscribe, like this video, drop me a comment, and lastly, do not forget to share. Credit belongs to original creators of every videos and stitches used in today's episode. And yes, with no further ado, I'm going to be saying, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys, I love you. Mwah.